You're watching Matador News.
Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Anthony De La O.
And I'm George Sakers. In an unprecedented move, the White House will now handpick the news outlets with regular access to the president. This includes deciding who can get into the Oval Office and Air Force One. The White House says this change will modernize the press pool and give access back to the American people. Critics say that by picking and choosing who gets exclusive access, the White House can shift the public's opinion of the president and prevent proper transparency.
Trump's suspension of the refugee admission system has been temporarily frozen as a federal judge in Seattle blocked the motion. The lawsuit against Trump's decision to freeze funding to process refugee applications forced aid groups to lay off staff. The Trump administration claims that cities and communities are unable to accommodate the refugees coming into the country. The judge found that the refugees are in dangerous places and are facing a separation of families.
21 technical service employees have resigned from the Department of Government Efficiency, saying their expertise will not be used to dismantle critical public services. These staffers previously worked for the United States Digital Service, which modernized public services such as Social Security, disaster relief, and student aid. However, after Trump's inauguration, they were enlisted to work with DOGE. The White House did not appear deterred by their resignation, stating that nothing can stop President Trump from taking action on the promises he made to the American people.
In response to the national bird flu outbreak, chain restaurants have announced an egg surcharge will be taken on to your bill. Denny's, among other restaurants like Waffle House, will be charging an additional 50 cents per egg on your plate. Denny's says it will continue to search for ways to keep options on the menu. Not all restaurants will carry the new fee, only those in areas where eggs are more expensive to source will be affected. A list of affected restaurants has not been released.
The LA City Council wants to battle the number of lost pets by proposing that all become microchipped. The Department of Animal Services subsidizes the cost for people who can't afford microchips, which at the moment is a $15 fee. If the proposal is approved, it would cost around $5 million to microchip all pets in Los Angeles. In campus news, CSUN students staged a walkout and rallied together on the library lawn last week. R. Anthony De La O says students were protesting the Trump executive orders in multiple ways.
A coalition that is composed of 6 different student-led organizations led a walkout in defense of migrant students on February 19 at the university lawn. Students protested against the Trump administration's decisions on the diversity, equity, inclusion policy, time, place, and manner restrictions, and mass deportations. A sense of community was felt throughout the protest as they walked throughout campus and rallied together to speak out on the issues at hand. Of the organizations present was the International League of People's Struggles, which seeks to unite the various movements around the world against imperialism.
I think it's really important that we stop the collaboration between the institutions of the state to really attack our communities, to allow ICE to have free reign, to continue to expand the militarization and repression in our communities, including in our campuses, right? I think it's important for the resources that are generated by workers, that are built up by the students and the faculty, are actually going towards their needs rather than things that make their lives worse. I think we need to really build a genuine people's movement, and I think that's actually even one of the bigger ones in order to accomplish all of these demands.
Among the protesters was Jolie Babineau, who says that denouncing the administration is how she is fighting for justice.
You need to call out fascism, you need to call out racism, and you need to call out the people by name perpetuating the hate, perpetuating the policy that is limiting the people and limiting our students, limiting our workers, limiting our friends, our families, our cousins, our parents, our uncles, our grandparents. When at the end of the day, regardless of political party, we all want to survive, we all want to be happy.
After the protest, students made their way to Dearborn Park, where Mecha the CSUN and Colita de Rana hosted their annual Valentine's meeting titled Love Transcends Borders. The club hosted a Know Your Rights workshop, did puppy yoga, made vision boards, hit a piñata, and even celebrated a birthday. It also gave space for members of the organizing student activist groups to debrief after the event.
So in general, I feel like protest is a good way to get our voices out, the community voices out to the people in charge. It's kind of a way to show like, hey, like we're not happy about these things. This is what we want to see change in our communities, and this is what we're going to be doing until we get that change. So I think protest in general, this is a good way to voice your opinion, voice what you're angry about, voice what you're feeling, and trying to unite the community.
There is a lot of worry, but I feel like, with everything that we did today regarding like organizing, like all the behind the scenes stuff has made me really hopeful and really empowered with like every individual who took place in coming together and, you know, being part of the event that took place. But yeah, even like events like this, just for us to like have a space to like breathe, you know, and that's very much needed right now.
The gathering was successful in alleviating stress and anxiety shared amongst the student activists. Genesis Zarate, the president of McAllister, was hoping that through this effort, students would be able to feel empowered and more educated on what the Trump administration is doing.
Just because we really just wanted all the workshops to kind of touch on all the emotional, physical, and spiritual levels for students to have a way to what to physically do, like if ICE shows up at your door, or having meditation and yoga so people can release the stress and the cope and like all the exhaustion that we've been experiencing lately. You know, we are huge advocates for art being a huge coping mechanism so students can just, you know, release all that they're feeling right now and what they're hopeful for as well.
If you're interested in attending one of the meetings, Metro the CSUN will be gathering at the Chicano House on February 26 from 4 to 6 p.m. For the Sundial, Anthony De La.
505 Entertainment and the Music Entertainment Student Association at CSUN partnered for the second part of their Black Excellence in Music series. This event featured a Q&A with Grammy-nominated producer and musician Terrace Martin, who has produced songs for mega stars like Kendrick Lamar and Snoop Dogg. Emphasized the importance of always moving forward to succeed in your goals, no matter what. Martin shared his love for music along with the sources of inspiration for his art to an eager crowd of students.
One of the many other events highlighting Black culture this month was Family Affair, a mental health resource fair to connect African American students with the university counseling services. Our reporter Jordan McAllister says the event offered a great way for CSUN to get a taste of Black culture.
It's Black History Month, and here at CSUN they do it big. Today at the Black House, they're hosting the Family Affair event to give the CSUN community a taste of Black culture.
You want to check out our resources? Make a right and go. Today's event is about the celebration of Black community and Black family. It goes all the way back to the roots of slavery when people were pulled from different plantations away from their family members. They found ways to make what we call kin through connecting with people from other plantations, and kinship became family. People would call someone aunt or uncle who was not really blood related, but they were connected because they were in the same plantation. So from there, the whole idea of Blacks connecting with each other with kinship was very important. When students come here, especially our Black students, we bring our culture with us, we bring our traditions with us. The connectedness is what today is about. It's National Black History Month, and it's a good time to remember our history and our connectedness. Yeah.
One of the big things that our Black Faculty Staff Association does is bridges our Black faculty and staff and our students, and creating a tone that we are here to engage. So they have several events that they do to meet with students and engage with them, and often we just sit as a mediator to bring those two entities together.
This was definitely an event you didn't want to miss. That concludes the Family Affair at the Black House. This was Jordan from the Sundial.
A pop-up thrift shop run by the CSUN Speech and Debate team raised money for the team's upcoming events. The shop included a wide range of styles for students to choose from clothing items sold between $3 and $5. The shop event occurred on North Sierra Lawn and was organized by team members Emily Ramirez and Vahe Tavmazian. The group plans to run more pop-ups throughout the semester.
There are plenty more events happening on campus this week. On Thursday, undocumented students will have the opportunity to have their financial aid applications reviewed at the Dream Center.
Later that day, for the culmination of CSUN's Black History Month events, Echoes of Excellence embraces those who have supported the Black community.
The annual CSUN Fashion Show is on the horizon. CSUN Trends is looking for models ready to put on a show and will be casting on Thursday.
Calling all theater lovers, Romeo and Juliet are falling in love in the Little Theater in Nordhoff Hall this week.
Next Monday, there is a Child and Adolescence Development Association meeting, which provides an opportunity to meet new people and discover job opportunities in the child development field.
The CSUN Department of Cinema and Television Arts has announced the lineup for its Cinematique series. This semester will focus on the surrealist works of Louis Buñuel. The screenings are free to the public and will be held every Wednesday at 7. Speaking of movies, our entertainment reporter Sam Kline has details on the Oscars, which are right around the corner.
The 97th Academy Awards ceremony airs Sunday, naming the highly anticipated Best Picture award. 10 films are nominated, including Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Best Picture nominees Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande will be performing songs from Wicked at the ceremony. Other performances include Lisa from the K-pop group Blackpink, Doja Cat, Ray, and Queen Latifah. The show takes place at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, with Conan O'Brien as this year's host. Speculations are rising, eager to see who will win Best Actor and Actress, along with a number of other prestigious awards. Universal Studios Hollywood is shutting down Fast and Furious Supercharged, the last part of the well-known studio tour. Supercharged will take off for the last time on March 10th after thrilling guests for 10 years. The closure follows Universal's announcement of Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, a new roller coaster set to open sometime in 2026. It is not clear what will replace Supercharged, but Universal says updates will arrive soon. Hollywood star Hunter Schafer was issued a U.S. passport that lists her as a male. Schafer is a well-known transgender star after her major role in HBO's Euphoria. In a video posted to her TikTok, Schafer explains that this change occurred while trying to replace a stolen passport after President Trump's recent executive order. This order states that the federal government only recognizes female and male as gender options on a passport and that they cannot be changed. Drake's recent concert in Sydney appears rather dystopian after a picture of the concert went viral on social media. The picture shows the rapper standing in front of a large crowd who are all holding signs begging for money. Drake is known for donating large amounts of money to fans in the audience to help pay for schooling, debt, and other expenses. More and more fans are now creating these elaborate signs, hoping to get a donation from Drake. That's all from me here in Manzanita Hall. Now back to you.
Thank you, Sam. It's been a busy week for Matador Athletics. Our sports reporter Alfonso Vargas says teams across the board are fighting hard.
In professional sports, Lakers have been on an absolute tear in their last 10 games, going 8-2 during that run. The Clippers will be on the road tomorrow at 5 in the evening against Chicago Bulls in hopes to snap their 3-game losing streak. In Matador sports, CSUN softball played against Seattle University, and although the Matadors' resilience showed throughout the game, capitalizing off an opportunity where an RBI single put the Matadors on the board, the Matadors still fell short against SU and able to gain momentum, losing 6-2. Despite the loss, CSUN was out for revenge. After losing 3 games entering the CSUN Matador Classic, the Matadors started off in a deficit 0-2, but CSUN softball came in with a drive to win and secured a victory over Seattle University 5-2. Now for men's sports, CSUN's baseball went head-on against BYU in a 3-game series where CSUN lost the first 2 games by a staggering margin, 19-3 and 7-3. Heading into the 3rd game, all CSUN had in mind was to win, and the Matadors did exactly that, coming alive in the bottom half of the 3rd game to defeat BYU 9-4, avoiding a sweep. Lastly, CSUN men's volleyball knocked out a win against Grand Canyon University for a 6th straight win. All the upcoming games will be this Thursday, with CSUN men's and women's basketball playing against UC San Diego at 7. Softball will play against Montana in the CSUN Champion Classic at 11 in the morning. Women's water polo will face off against Fresno in the Pacific Convergence Tournament at around 11 in the morning. Finally, CSUN's men's volleyball will host Cal Lutheran at 6 in the evening. That's all from me here at Redwood Hall. Now back to you.
Thank you, Alfonso. Humans will no longer face the same fate as the dinosaurs, for now. The asteroid that once had a 3% chance of hitting Earth in 2032 has now been rendered non-threatening, as the chances plummeted to near zero. NASA and the European Space Agency have declared that the asteroid will not hit the Earth, rather pass by it peacefully. However, there is less than a 2% chance it will hit the Moon, though NASA expects those numbers to fade in the future as well.
And that's all for Matador News. Tune in next week for the latest from our team and check out the Sundial YouTube for more from our reporters. I'm Anthony De La O.
And I'm George Sakers. See you next week.